Hey everybody, this is Move on Mondays and I'm Nancy McCready. So I'm in a little bit of a different setting today, which I'm very glad about. So I'm in a castle that was built in the 1500s and I'm here, and you may be able to hear things right out my window, cars going by, people having conversations, life happening, and I'm here doing what God has sent me out to do. We're making disciples of the nations. And I love the way it's happening in such practical ways. And so I'm here a part of the School of the 70. And so it's just good. It's good to be here. And where I'm at, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. And I know they're in Texas, and in the Central Standard Time Zone, it is 7:30 a.m., which is when I normally come on and do Move on Mondays right from my kitchen table. And but today I'm somewhere else, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon, so I'm thrilled for any of you that are able to hop on with me. Hope you'll share this and bring others in on the conversation. So today is a part of just Move on Mondays and being able to say, hey, look, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving forward with Him, because usually trouble comes when we settle down and we get satisfied with where we are. I want us to find our satisfaction in Him, and therefore we'll be willing to move anytime He says, and that we will stay continuously in the process of learning of Him, learning His ways, and that we're able to literally go mobile on whatever level and in whatever way it is that He says, hey, everybody, great to see you. And so one of the things that I'm in the process right now of just really coming to value and to appreciate is that it is simply as I go that He unfolds plans and the deep provision that's necessary for that. And so one of the things that I'm really coming to value is that I have to be willing to go. I have to be willing to put one foot in front of the other. I have to be willing to go until every door closes or every door opens. If we decide in this day and time, if we say, well, they say I can't go, so therefore I can't go. Well, there's this trouble and that barrier, and there's this difficulty, and I just don't see how it can happen, so I'm just not even going to try. All right, so now we're all tempted to do that, and of course you know that there are times when if God shuts the door, obviously you can't go. But too many times I think we decide way ahead of time. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going. I'm not willing to take that chance. I'm not willing to take that risk. What if it looks like a failure? What if it doesn't happen? What will people think? Okay, do you know how many things I could list? How many thoughts? How many excuses that we all, I'm talking about now, I'm learning this right now. So I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm learning this. But what I'm learning is the value of simply going. And it's as you go. If He says, take this next step, here's the next leg of the journey, here's what you do, keep walking until I tell you to stop. Keep moving through the doors that I open until, something, blocks the way. So I'm just really, again, learning the priceless process of going. Moving with Him, being willing to take that chance, take that risk, not recklessly, but because you know that this is something that He's put in you to do. And so you begin that walk of faith, if you will, that next leg of the journey. And you will, trust me, you will learn to live very dependent upon Him. So I've been watching Him do this over the last many days, and I think I'm getting ready to see Him do it again and again. Because there are things that I'm learning right now that I believe that because I'm allowing Him to harness these days and these circumstances, these locations, these things that people said, well, this can't be done, but here I sit, that I'm learning that he's gonna make it happen. But I do have to be willing to go, willing to step forward, willing to learn new things that initially are, I would say, pretty uncomfortable. But if I don't, I'll never know. If I'm not willing to go, if I'm not willing to take that chance, if I'm not willing to go with intelligent risk, all right, it's intelligent to follow God, but there is still risk involved in going with God. So can we just call it intelligent risk? All right, it's an intelligent loyalty is one of the things the old saints would call it. All right, now remember, you're hearing noises and stuff because I'm sitting right here at my window in the castle, and so there are trucks going by in the city or in this little village that we're in, so hopefully not too distracting. All right, but there is something very powerful, and every one of you, I want to encourage you right now, today, to keep moving, because you don't see the provision until you need it. So if you never go, you don't see the provision. But it's as I've been going and I'm watching him literally do things that when I was sitting at home, maybe a few weeks ago, planning to be here, which it had been in the works for months, that there were moments where I thought, well, it's probably not going to happen. But all I could do was to continue to be willing. Make the next phone call, take the next step, the next act of obedience, and one thing upon another stacked. Can we just stack obedience? Ooh, excuse me, I got my note cards out. I'm gonna write something down right now. You know, it's called stacking obedience, okay? And it is one thing after the other. I mean, I'm in such real-time learning that I'm having to write it down during the live, okay? And that we stack obedience upon obedience, and he is causing things to unfold. It's unfolding as we go. And I think this is a huge part of some of what I've been talking about recently, which is, are we going to be those who are willing to take responsibility for what God has put within us, what he has assigned us to? Now, ultimately, you're not responsible for people, you're responsible to people. You see, I'm responsible to speak the truth to you, but you're responsible for what you do with it. I'm not responsible to make it all happen. I'm not responsible for you, but I must live as a responsible person to you, that I have a responsibility to speak, to share, to live, to encourage. But there's a part of being a person of oversight where you are going to have to decide if you're going to be willing to be a person of real responsibility. This is a part of what unfolds as we go. And so if, everybody can talk a good game, but there comes that moment where you say, are you willing to take responsibility for this assignment, for this particular project? And that means the buck stops with me, you see? And so if all you can do is make excuses, and you don't ever want to be the one that, the egg is on your face, the failure comes to you, that kind of thing, which nobody's signing up for failure, but I'm just saying, sometimes those that know me know what I'm probably getting ready to say, but you got to be willing to look like a failure while being highly successful, okay? When Jesus, who was saving the world while hanging naked outside of town with everyone spitting on him, mocking him, ridiculing him, and he looked like the biggest failure of all time, guess what? It was his most successful day. I'm looking for people who are willing to live like that. That I'm accomplishing the Father's will. I'm not trying to look successful to the world. Am I successful in the Father's will? So there has to be a willingness to go forward. There has to be a willingness to take responsibility. There has to be a willingness to let things unfold as you go, which means you don't see everything all at once. It doesn't all make sense at once. All right, so I want to encourage you with that today, okay? Because I want you to keep moving with Him. We have a lot of work to get to. You've been equipped and called to Him, but once you come to Him, then there's the assignment, the projects, the assignment, the walk of what is it now that we will take responsibility for. And this is why we need to be corrected and instructed, because we're being fit for every good work, and there is much work to be done. All right, so I am so glad to have been with you for these few minutes, and I pray that wherever you are today, that you will let Him take you places, that you will let Him prepare you for the things that will unfold as you go. Be willing to go. Put one foot in front of the other. All right? Be willing to be a person of responsibility. People of responsibility. So, be encouraged today. All right? And I am praying for you all. And I'm going to read your comments. I can't really see them on the screen right now, but I'm going to take a look at those, and just know that I love you all, and I'm so very glad that we were together for these few minutes today. All right? Because every one of us is called to Him and has an assignment, so we need to get ready. Okay? All right. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.